The Bible as we know it today is not the whole story. Hidden between its pages lies a silence about a text so forbidden, so dangerous, that it was deliberately left out. A book that claims to reveal the true origins of humanity, the rebellion of angels, the secrets of heaven, and the shocking mysteries of what really happened before recorded history. I am talking about the Book of Enoch, a text so controversial that early religious leaders fought to bury it, destroy it, and erase it from the collective memory of mankind. But what could be so dangerous about this book that it had to be silenced for centuries? And what truths does it hold about our forgotten past that would shake the very foundation of religion, history, and even science? Before we dive into this forbidden book, I want you to stop and ask yourself one simple question. Why do we accept that certain books are holy and others are apocryphal or forbidden? Who decided what counted as divine truth and what did not? The Book of Enoch was once held in the highest regard, even quoted in the Bible itself, yet it was removed from nearly every version of Scripture, condemned as heresy, and lost to Western civilization for almost 2,000 years. But what if the Book of Enoch holds the missing link to our true history, a history where divine beings walked the earth, where human destiny was altered by celestial visitors, and where the very boundaries between heaven and earth were broken? Enoch himself is a mysterious figure. In the Old Testament he is briefly mentioned in Genesis. It says, "Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him." Just a single enigmatic line. But what does that mean? The Forbidden Book expands this line into a cosmic story. Enoch was not simply a righteous man. He was taken by God into the heavens, shown the secrets of creation, and appointed as a messenger to reveal what others were never meant to know. The Book of Enoch describes him as a scribe of righteousness, the one human entrusted to write down divine knowledge hidden from the rest of mankind. And what he wrote is nothing short of shocking. The book describes a group of beings called the Watchers Angels, sent to earth to guide and watch over humanity. But instead of protecting us, these beings broke the divine order. They descended upon Mount Hermon, took human wives, and taught forbidden knowledge to mankind. These unions produced a race of giants, the Nephilim, who became tyrants upon the earth. The Watchers taught humans sorcery, astrology, weapon-making, and even cosmetics. Imagine the implications. An ancient story, claiming that fallen beings gave humanity its first advanced knowledge. It wasn't divine inspiration, it was a rebellion against heaven itself. This story is not just myth, it echoes in other cultures. The Greeks spoke of titans, massive beings born of gods and mortals. The Sumerians told of Anunnaki sky gods, who came down to mingle with humans and gift civilization. Native legends around the world speak of star beings, sky visitors, and knowledge bring. Is it just coincidence that cultures separated by oceans all carry the same tale? Or is it the suppressed memory of something real, something the Book of Enoch dared to record? The Nephilim, according to Enoch, grew so large and so violent that they began to devour not only humans but even the earth itself, bringing chaos and destruction. Their very existence threatened creation. That is when God sent a judgment, the Great Flood. Suddenly, the pieces fall into place. The familiar story of Noah's Ark takes on a new dimension when seen through Enoch's eyes. The flood wasn't just about wiping away sinful men, it was about erasing the Nephilim, the hybrid offspring of angels and humans, and cleansing the earth from the corruption of forbidden knowledge. This interpretation raises an uncomfortable question: have we been told only part of the story in Genesis? And if so, why? Enoch claims that the leader of the Watchers was named Semyaza, and another rebellious figure among them was Azazel. Azazel is described as the one who taught men the art of war, metallurgy, and the creation of weapons. In other words, the Book of Enoch suggests that human violence, our capacity for war, and even the tools of bloodshed were gifts not from God, but from fallen beings who corrupted mankind. Does this explain why human history is drenched in blood? Are we carrying the legacy of knowledge given by those who defied heaven? But it doesn't stop there. The Book of Enoch also provides one of the earliest and most detailed descriptions of the spiritual world. Enoch is taken into the heavens, where he sees the throne of God, the ranks of angels, and the cosmic order of the universe. He describes fiery wheels, angelic beings of unimaginable power, and secrets of the stars, the sun, and the moon. He even describes different levels of heaven, almost like dimensions stacked upon each other. This raises another mystery. How could a text written thousands of years ago describe cosmic realities in such detail? Was Enoch simply imagining visions, or did he truly experience something that modern science is only beginning to uncover? Consider this. The Book of Enoch describes stars as living entities bound to their courses by divine command. It speaks of heavenly tablets where the fate of mankind is written. It even details cycles of time, calendars, and astronomical knowledge far beyond what primitive humans should have known. Scholars have noted striking similarities between Enoch's descriptions and modern astrophysics. Could it be that the ancients had access to a knowledge source we cannot explain? knowledge that modern institutions might not want us to question too deeply. And then there's the prophecy. Enoch claims he was shown the end of days, a final judgment when the Watchers and their offspring would be punished. He describes a messianic figure, a son of man who would come to bring justice, defeat the fallen, and restore creation. Remember, this was written long before Christianity, yet the language echoes strikingly with the New Testament. So why was Enoch erased from the canon if it aligns so closely with Christian prophecy? Could it be that it reveals too many details about the cosmic struggle between light and darkness? Here's where the story becomes even more unsettling. The Book of Enoch was widely read and respected in ancient Jewish and early Christian circles. In fact, it is quoted directly in the Book of Jude in the New Testament. Early church fathers, like Tertullian, defended its authenticity. But by the 4th century, powerful councils of men decided which books belonged in the Bible. Enoch was condemned as heretical, labeled too dangerous, and systematically removed. For centuries it vanished, surviving only in remote places like Ethiopia, where the Ethiopian Orthodox Church still includes it in their Bible today. Isn't it strange that one branch of Christianity still sees it as scripture while the rest of the world ignores it? When the Book of Enoch was rediscovered in the 18th century, it shocked scholars. Here was a text older than many canonical books, preserved in secrecy, and yet it explained mysteries that the official Bible left vague. Its removal now looked less like a spiritual decision and more like censorship. Someone, somewhere, decided that humanity wasn't ready for these truths. And this brings us to the biggest mystery of all. What if the Book of Enoch isn't just myth or allegory? What if it is an ancient record of real events, beings not of this world interacting with humanity, teaching forbidden knowledge, and shaping the destiny of civilizations? Today, when we hear about extraterrestrials, UFOs, and ancient aliens, most dismiss it as science fiction. But what if the Book of Enoch is the oldest testimony of that very phenomenon? What if the Watchers were not merely fallen angels, but something far more complex? If true, then our entire understanding of history and religion must be rewritten. Think about the implications. If Enoch is right, then humanity has always been caught in a struggle between higher intelligence that wish to uplift us, and others that wish to enslave us with knowledge that destroys more than it creates. Our wars, our obsession with power, our fallen states, it may all trace back to this ancient rebellion. And if Enoch's visions of judgment are still ahead of us, then perhaps the story is not over. Perhaps we are still living in the shadow of that cosmic war. The Book of Enoch was forbidden because it forces us to ask dangerous questions. Questions about who we really are, where we come from, and who or what has been guiding our path from the beginning. Maybe it was hidden not to protect our faith, but to protect the power of those who control what we are allowed to believe. If the truths in Enoch were fully embraced, religions might collapse, governments might lose control, and the history we teach our children would need to be rewritten from scratch. So now you have to decide. Was Enoch just a man with wild visions, or was he truly chosen to reveal the deepest secrets of our universe? Was the Book of Enoch removed because it was false, or because it was too true? The silence around it speaks volumes. And perhaps the greatest mystery is not whether it happened, but why we were never meant to know.